Have you ever encountered or had an experience of a betrayal, either through a relationship, either through a colleague, either through a family member, or even your government or the society where we find ourselves today? Betrayal has become a cancer that is ravaging the world. And in one way or the other, we have all experienced a situation where betrayal has become a pain. It has become something that sometimes we feel, where did we miss it? Who made the error? Is it my fault? How did this happen? Good evening, everyone. My name is James Oluwole, and it's exciting to connect with you today, the 26th of April, 2026. Great having every one of us join at the James Oluwole Leadership Masterclass. This is a platform where we build ourselves as emerging leaders to transform our world. And I'm super excited to have you join us again today. And it promises to be a very exciting and an engaging time as we look at a very interesting topic, which I strongly believe that it is coming at the right time. Leading through betrayal, turning pain into power. I want to believe that in your field, or even by way of experience, you must have had one or two people that have had challenges of betrayal, or even you yourself had gone through that experience. And in our engagement today, we want to discuss deeply how can you turn a pain as a result of betrayal as to become a strength, to become a power for you towards putting together the right systems, the right process, the right structures, and ensuring that even when betrayal happens, the impact is minimized. And for some of us on this platform, you might say, oh, I have never been betrayed. Great. If you've never been betrayed, but I also feel that this section is also going to help you. It's going to enlighten you so that when in any situation, as you grow in your leadership, as you grow in your journey of life, when you encounter betrayal, you will know what to do. You will know how to handle it. You will know how to manage it so that you can come out of a situation of a betrayal much better, much stronger, and much empowered, and minimizing its impact to the best possible as you can. I want to encourage us that please, if you can, share to your friends, share to your loved ones. Let's invite people, let them join, let them enjoy what we are learning here, and it promises to be a very transformative moment. By way of introduction, we are living in a time where betrayal has become the reality that cannot be ignored. It has become something we witness almost daily. Everywhere we turn, we hear stories of broken trust. We hear stories of disappointment. We hear stories of painful experiences caused by betrayal. We have seen betrayal between husbands, between the husband and the wife, leading to divorce, leading to broken homes, leading to children having to experience a painful moment where they don't have access to their parents as a result of a betrayal challenge and resulting to painful separation. We have seen betrayal between parents and children, where children felt betrayed by their parents. We have seen betrayal between parents also feeling pain and betrayed by their children. And this has resulted to a situation where even parents are disowning children, and children also are saying, I no longer want to have the name of my father. I no longer want to associate myself with my mom as a result of a betrayal experience. We have seen betrayal between employees and employers. We have seen it in different situations, in different categories. Particularly for me, in my journey in career over the last 15 years, I can share several stories of a betrayal experience. We've seen employers taking advantage of employees, manipulating them, even when a commitment has been agreed upon. We've seen business owners and employers, not respecting what has been agreed and taking advantage of the employees, making them become a servant, even while they are giving their best and ensuring that the top level or the bottom line of the organization is strong. We have also seen employees that employers have invested a lot on them. They have invested and empowered them, giving them opportunities to rise. And when they get to the level that they couldn't have imagined, which sometimes is not based on effort, but because the employer and the organization has a culture and a system where they needed to believe in their employees and they gave them platforms to thrive. We have seen employees taking advantage of those opportunities and they betray their organizations. We've seen employees leaving an organization and joining another competitor within the industry, within the same market, within the shortest period of time. I have seen situations where an employee has joined an organization and they have invested a lot, fly this staff to every part of the world. And when the guy just came back, few days after, he resigned. What a pain. We have also seen betrayal between government and their citizens. We've seen betrayal, and this has been a challenge everywhere. Government, politicians deceiving the people, deceiving the citizens, telling them that we will do this, we will do that, and when they get empowered, when they get to the office, the game change. The people that they have entrusted authority on, they become a puppet. We have also seen betrayals among religious leaders and their members and followers. We've seen pain where people as followers have been deceived by religious leaders. We've seen followers also that have taken advantage of their religious leaders and they've maneuvered situations. We've also seen betrayals between friends. We've seen betrayals between business partners and even those closest to us. And I believe every one of us here, we have a story to share. Now, the painful part about betrayal is this, that it really comes from a stranger. And if I ask every one of us here, I want to believe that you can attest to this, that betrayal does not come from a stranger. It comes from people you trusted. It comes from people we believe in. It comes from people we have invested our time. We have invested our energy. We have invested resources into them. Betrayal never comes from a stranger, no. If it comes from a stranger, it's not a betrayal. It can have another definition. People you open your doors and you gave them access to your life. You gave them access to your vision, to your mission, to your goals. You gave them your heart. They failed you. Suddenly, they stabbed you at the back. These individuals are not enemies, but people we empowered and trusted. How do you handle such a situation when it happens? How do you handle it? How will you feel that those you've given access, those that never had a dream of becoming who they are, and you gave them platform, and all of a sudden, they hurt you, they stabbed you in the back? How do you deal with such pain? How do you process such disappointment when betrayal happens? Because let's be honest. Honestly speaking, when betrayal happens, it hurts. And let's be honest about it. And let me just quickly share a quick story and a scenario here, which is a public information. The example of the betrayal by a company called Theranos. There was this 19-year-old lady by name Elizabeth Holmes. She founded a company called Theranos in 2003. It is a US company. And the vision was that she was going to transform blood testing for patients in hospital into a faster, cheaper, and less invasive process. This lady, who was a school product, just said she has done some research and she has a solution where she can run blood tests and different test results, the outcome can come within seconds, within minutes. And the whole world believed her. The whole world believed in the business. She claimed to revolutionize healthcare with a device that can run hundreds of blood tests for just few drops of blood. Her vision attracted major investors, including high-profile politicians and retired military generals in the US, top-level professionals, top-level politicians, top-level people in the US believed in this vision. Partnerships with companies, different companies that also believe that she can offer value. Patients who trusted the technology, and all of a sudden, it was a shock because the same person that said she has the solution got something changed. And all of a sudden, Elizabeth and her team deceived investors. They endangered patients who had their blood samples tested by the device, misdiagnosis and wrong treatment to patients due to false test results. Employees in Terrano suspected some anomalies. They suspected that no, something is wrong, but they were intimidated by the same management because they knew what they were doing. They were made to sign secrecy policies, policies of non-disclosure. Whistleblowers struggle to expose the truth due to legal threat. At its peak, Terranos in 2014 was worth a value of $9 billion. But when the company collapsed 4 years later in 2018, the same company that was worth $9 billion as a result of investors investing in the company a lot of resources, in 2018, that same company was worth $0. Can you imagine? This is the world we have been to. These are the kind of challenges that we've continued to have. And as far back as 2003 and even before then, till date, we are still seeing challenges of betrayal in different sectors, in different engagements, in different institutions. The sense of betrayal was so strong in Terranos. Investors believed in a transformative blood test innovation, and they lost over $700. A particular company was green, lost over $100 to $150. Employees that believed that they were changing healthcare and they've been employed in their hundreds, they lost their employment with little or no terminal benefits or take home for them. Patients that trusted the test results with their lives were deceived. The public saw Holmes as a visionary leader, but she failed. Let us be honest. Betrayal does not just hurt. It confuses you. Let's be honest. Betrayal does not just hurt. It confuses you. You begin to ask, how did I not see this? How did I get it wrong? Where am I? How did this happen? That's how betrayal is. Where did I go wrong? After everything I did, how could they do this to me? You begin to ask some questions because you are hurt, because you gave your heart, you gave your life, you provided access as a leader, either in the organization, and you did it out of vulnerability and trust. Because you want to become a charismatic and a servant leader who wants to empower people to grow. So you give them assets. You don't want to hold on to power. As a parent, as a friend, you believed in the person that, no, this person can't disappoint me. All of a sudden, they did. For many people, that moment becomes a turning point. Some people become bitter. Some withdraw from others. Some lose their ability to trust again. Some become angry with themselves for allowing it to happen. But please, let me tell you, and I need you to understand, that it's not always your fault when you experience betrayal. Because you have to trust people. So it's not your fault. We understand that you feel the pain. We understand that you are not feeling happy. We understand that you got disappointment. And please don't feel bad about it. One challenge I have observed is that many people never heal from betrayal experience. That's where the problem is. Many people have gone through the pain of betrayal in relationships, and it has affected future relationships. Many spouses are married today, and they are using the betrayal experience of the past, and it's affecting their homes today. That's how betrayal is. I have seen people who no longer want to trust again because of past experiences. Many are still carrying wounds from failed relationship, from broken friendship, from dishonest partnership and leadership disappointment. They smile on the outside, but inward they are bleeding. Are you in that category? Do we have somebody that is in that category? It is important for us to understand that betrayal is inevitable. And please, I need you to understand this, that you cannot avoid betrayal. Let me be honest with you. No matter the systems and structure you put in place, because betrayal comes from people you trust, and there is no way you can be a lone ranger. You have to work with people. You have to give people access. So you cannot. It is inevitable, because you have to delegate. You have to trust. You have to empower people. The only way to completely avoid betrayal would be that you stop trusting people and you stop delegating responsibility. That is the only way. That you are saying, okay, from now on, I am the only one doing everything. But is it possible? Can you really do that? Can you live a life that is just you and you alone? Because sometimes you might even have a betrayal from a business partner, from a customer, from a client, from someone that you've entrusted. We've seen people that have entrusted a close family member to build a house for them. They've sent money, they betrayed them. We've seen people that they have signed a contract in buying a car, in agreeing on a business. And those people took the money and they never refunded. And they even collide with the law enforcement agents. We've seen it across the world. As a leader, one of the qualities that make you effective is your ability to trust people. You cannot lead effectively if you cannot trust others and work with people. No, you cannot. And I'm not here to tell you not to trust people. No, you have to. I have to. Therefore, I want us to reflect on the following questions. How do you lead knowing that betrayal may happen to you? Let's reflect on these questions. How do you lead knowing that betrayal would happen to you? So what should we do? How do you lead? Because it will happen. You can't pray it out. Because humans are difficult. How serious this is. It's not something that prayer answers. Because even God that created us as humans, we are betraying him on a daily basis. So let's alone you. How do you rise stronger after a betrayal experience? How do you rise stronger? How do you become wiser, better, and more effective after being hurt? The truth is that there is a root cause of betrayal, and I want us to go to the foundation so that we can begin to answer these questions. Let's consider the root cause of betrayal, because the truth is that betrayal does not begin on the day it happens. No, betrayal has been building itself over time. It could have been for 5 years period, building itself slowly, getting close to you. The person was getting close to you. The system was being affected closely over time. And it often begins long before the day through foundational issues we have ignored. Sometimes we trust people too quickly. These are some of the foundational challenges, the root causes. We trust people too quickly. And let me be honest with you, I'm also in that category. Because you see, the truth is that we are vulnerable. And due to our vulnerability, due to our belonging and empathy mindset, we want to give and believe in people even before we know who they are. So we trust quickly. We give people access quickly. We empower people without proper systems and structures. We give authority without accountability. We allow access without communicating clearly what the person should be and set the right boundaries. We ignore the red flags because, let me be honest, many times before the betrayal happened, you have seen the red flags, but we ignore. I have seen the red flags, we ignore. Because we want to believe the best in people. And why believing in people is noble, please understand that wisdom must always accompany trust. So if there is something we are learning today is how to apply wisdom in a period when you are building trust and relationship with people. Because we cannot stop relating with people. Leaders must understand that betrayal is not always just about the act itself. No, it's beyond it. Sometimes it reveals the weaknesses in systems. It reveals the weaknesses in structures. It reveals the weaknesses in the boundaries, in the oversight, and in the leadership decisions that we make. Many times, the issues is not only what someone did, but what was not in place to prevent damage that did it, when they did it. Because that is where it's most important. That where did we have the system and structure to have prevented the damage when the betrayal happened, occurred? As leaders, and I'm speaking to leaders in churches, leaders as parents in families, leaders in community, leaders in institutions, every one of us. And I know you know by now that everyone is a leader. You don't need to hold a leadership position to be a leader. So I'm speaking to every one of us. That even in your personal relationship, in your dating, you need to still put on the cap of a leader and assess this from an objective perspective. Therefore, as leaders, we may not always prevent betrayal from happening around us, but we can minimize its impact and risks. You may not be able to prevent it, but you can minimize its impact. You can minimize the risks. We can reduce the damage. We can set up accountability frameworks and ensure it is implemented to the latter. We can establish healthy boundaries within our systems, within the organization. We can build wiser systems. And when we do, please understand that betrayal may still happen. Even with all of this, betrayal may still happen. But this is the outcome. The impact may not have much effect. The impact would be of a low value, low level. And that is the critical thing I want us to understand. That if you're going to, that's why the topic is leading through betrayal, because it's not leading by avoiding betrayal. No, betrayal will happen. But when betrayal happens, does it make you feel pain or it empowers you? So I have the following steps on how you can turn pain into power after a betrayal experience. How do you do that? How can I do that? Betrayal can shake your confidence. Betrayal can damage trust and test your leadership. But if handled wisely, it can also become one of the greatest seasons of growth. It can become one of the greatest seasons of your maturity and transformation as a leader. And I want you to understand that. And in turning the pain of a betrayal into power, the number one thing is, please acknowledge the pain when betrayal happens. Friend, let me be honest with you. When a betrayal happens, please acknowledge the pain. Do not pretend it does not hurt you, because betrayal hurts. Please acknowledge it. Don't suppress it. Don't rush the healing process. No. And at the same time, never allow the pain of betrayal to control your decision. As much as you acknowledge it, we are not saying you should not make a decision out as a result of the outcome of a betrayal. No, they are two separate things. But let me tell you, don't say, oh, I am a macho man. I am not feeling bad, and you are pretending. Because you see, if you don't go through the pain and you don't acknowledge that it hurts, you may never get out of it. I need to be honest with you. When betrayal happens, if you need to cry, please go to your closest and cry. If you need to. I'm being very objective to you that betrayal, when it happens, please acknowledge it. Don't say you have one Holy Spirit that will suppress it down. No, we are humans. We are humans. Acknowledge when it happens. If you react emotionally out of anger, frustration, or revenge, you may destroy what you have spent your years building. So that is why you need to first acknowledge it, but don't react. Acknowledge it, but don't react. Just feel the pain. Cry if you need to cry. But that is not the time to rush into decision. That is not the time to think, oh, what next? What next? And you want to prove to people that you are fine. No. Please, if you need to acknowledge it, acknowledge it. Number 2, live with integrity. When betrayal happens, for you to turn the pain of a betrayal to power, after you've acknowledged the betrayal, lead with integrity. What does that mean? You must deal with the issue without destroying your organizational culture and system. One of the mistakes many leaders make is that they become what hurts them. Are you in that situation? The biggest mistake leaders make, and this is where leaders never get out of a betrayal experience, is that thing that hurts them, they become it. They become harsh. They become bitter. They become suspicious of everyone. They become emotionally hardened. And they don't trust any longer. No. At a period of betrayal, in turning the pain to power, you need to lead with integrity. And at this moment, you want to investigate, you want to assess what are the core challenges. But you cannot become bitter. You cannot become what hurts you, and you are now leaving that on others that don't have anything to do with that. Because please, I want you as a leader to understand that you should not allow one person's betrayal to turn you into a person who no longer trusts, value, respects others, particularly your team. It's a big risk. Remember, once you lose your values, you begin to lose your leadership capacity. And you cannot lose your values. When trust collapses at the top, the system weakens at every level. You cannot allow trust to collapse. You cannot say, oh, didn't you see what that employee did to me? Didn't you see what my dad did to me? And you lost trust of everyone. Didn't you see what that my child did to me, and the other children begin to suffer because of one child? No, you cannot. You have to lead with integrity. You have to assess the situation. If you need to investigate it. Put the right systems and structures in place, or lead with integrity. Number 3, turn the experience into leadership growth. This is profound, because let me tell you, in every journey of your leadership journey is an experience. So you need to turn a period of betrayal as a leadership growth. Are you seeing betrayal as an opportunity to grow? You need to ask yourself. Because you must move from the victim to becoming a leader. Don't be the victim when betrayal happens. Don't allow your emotion suppresses you. And this is why when betrayal happens, you don't rush to the public. You don't rush to want to put a message out, because at that time, sorry, you may just make a mistake. You don't rush. You need to handle it professionally. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? It's better you begin to ask, what is the experience this betrayal is teaching me? Change the question so that you can learn from it. So don't just ask and you're blaming yourself. Oh, why did this happen to me? Why did it happen to me? No, flip it. Rather ask, what experience are we learning from this? What experience? That's why, as I said, I have seen many situations of, employees you've empowered. If I can give several examples. Let me give an example. I had someone who and I think this might also help some of us. An organization that has empowered you. They've given you a platform, and this particular individual had risen, to higher levels within the organization. In fact, during my period, we have reviewed the salary by almost 3 to 4 times, because the guy is actually good. And all of a sudden, the guy got another employment, and he's holding very sensitive positions, and gave us 2 weeks resignation letter. And I was like, how? Why? And the guy began to quote the law, that according to the law, and I was like, what? These are the situations. And I was able to talk him through. I said, look, let me tell you something. And I think this might be helpful to someone. See, one of the things that make you an exceptional professional, one of the things that make you an exceptional leader is that you move from becoming legal compliant to ethical and moral compliance. That's what separates you from a professional. Yes, it might be legal, or is it ethical? Is it moral? And ethical compliance and moral compliance has to do with your personal judgment. It has to do with you assessing it and saying, oh, this organization, one of the things I always tell people, a door that you have access and has been opened to you when you are leaving and going out, never make mistake to shutting the door, closing the door and throwing away the key. That will be a big risk. That will be a big risk. And I see many young professionals making the mistake. Oh, go to hell. I won't need you again. A few years' time, because the table turns. That same boss, that same colleague might just be in another place. And again, you met again. How would that person see you? That's why it's important for us to understand that when betrayal happens, you learn from it. Now, from that experience, I was able to engage the person and I told him, I said, look, I want you to move away. You are a professional already. Move away from illegal compliance and start thinking moral and ethical compliance. And ask yourself this question. If I own this company today and someone did this to me, after you have received engagement and empowerment within the space of 2 years, you have received accelerated growth, how would you feel? Put yourself in the perspective, and good enough, the person was able to rethink. I'm just giving you the challenges and the experiences. So you learn from it. And in that result, I am always conscious. I'm always conscious. And one of the things that lesson taught me is that I made sure that as much as I delegate responsibility to people, I make sure that they are not indispensable. Let me tell you, when you make people feel that they are indispensable, that is where the risk comes in. So how do you address that? Yes, you have to empower people, but you must make sure that there are people that can do the same work. Let there be centralization. Let people be able to take responsibility. Let there be a backup system. Let you, as the leader, be able to be conscious and manage situations where it occurs. Because, as I said, betrayal cannot be avoided. And one of the things you should learn as you grow in this experience is that not everyone deserves full access. Trust should be built over time. Character is more important than competence. Let me tell you, if you want to minimize betrayal, don't always go after competence. Competence is great, but find people with character, people with integrity, people with a moral sense of thought and belonging, people with a judgmental basis that they know that, no, if I need to live, I need to live the right way. I can't do this on ethical grounds. Loyalty must be proven, not presumed. Boundaries are necessary, not optional. These are the things the experience is going to teach you through. Discernment and emotional intelligence are critical. Are you a leader that is sensitive and you have a discernment spirit? Please develop it. Are you sensitive, or you are just the one that even when things are happening and other colleagues or people are giving you signal, you don't care? You are carried away by the excellence of this person and you give them everything. Do you have discernment? Do you have emotional intelligence? These are critical key things that leaders must have. And that is what the experience of a betrayal will teach you. Because you must also learn to decide wisely between when a betrayal happens, should we restore the person back or should we let the person go? Because let me be honest, it's not all betrayal that the relationship should be sustained. Some betrayal when it happened, please, it's just good. You say, okay, you can leave. Release the person and let go. Because sometimes when you want to act like God, you are falling in a ditch. And let me tell you the weakness of that. Because when that happens, you are telling their systems and structure, particularly when it is a tough situation, you are informing the organization and those within the team that anybody can do the same and they can be forgiven. So you need to assess the situation and the issues. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a space for restoration, but please measure the impact, measure the implication when you are making that decision. If I'm adding value to you, please kindly just either you react or you drop a message on the chat box. Let me know if I'm adding value and if this is really resonating with you and you're learning from this. Number 4, strengthen your system and structures. If you want to move away from a pain to power, you have to strengthen your systems and structure. Do not focus on the incident. Focus on what the incident revealed. Every betrayal exposes gaps. Gaps in people, gaps in process, gaps in oversight, gaps in accountability. So as a leader, ask yourself, where did our system fail to detect or prevent this? How did we allow this to happen? Were expectations unclear? Were accountability measures weak? Ask yourself this question as a leader. Do we need stronger checks and balances? What control should exist when the authority is delegated? Because a system that is weak would reveal some of these challenges. So you need to strengthen your system and structure. You need to. We've seen many times that as parents, sometimes we are careless. Now, you may have built the right culture in your children, showing them the way. But sometimes you're just careless, you leave money anyway, and they get tempted. These are some of the challenges. So you might need to start letting them know that no, when you see money, you can't touch it. Reminding them. You are not saying they will touch it, but let there be a signal. Let there be a reminder. Something telling them that don't touch, or you even don't put it where they can be tempted. Put in systems in the organization, put in structures. Don't allow, you see, I keep telling people, I was speaking to some of my colleagues last week, and I was telling them, I think it was more of a short coaching and mentorship section, and I said, one of the things I am working in building myself, and I think I've been doing this over the past 2 years, is that I would rather want to put a system and structure to prevent a problem from happening, rather than allowing the problem to happen. And it was a procurement that was going on, and they came in, and they felt really bad after discovering some things that I directed them to investigate over those vendors. And they came and they said, look, we have a bad news for you, because this vendor was actually fraudulent. And I said, no, don't feel bad, be happy. And they said, what do I mean? I said, no, I said, because you have prevented the procurement of fraud that would have occurred. So be celebrated. Can you imagine if that has happened and now you are struggling to get the money back? That's the pain. So sometimes put systems to prevent it rather than it happening. But on betrayal, as much as you put the system, you can't prevent it too. People, you can only minimize the impact to the extent that when it happens, you don't feel it. Number 5, transform the pain into purpose. How do you do this? Ultimately, betrayal should not weaken a leader. It will refine you. Therefore, ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me about my leadership? Because let me tell us the truth. It is in tough times, it is in difficult moments that we know you as a leader. Your leadership is tested. You see, I keep telling people, leadership is not tested when everything is fine. Your leadership is tested in tough times. So when a betrayal happens, how do you lead as a leader? How do you manage the situation? How can this strengthen the organization? Ask those questions. How can this help our long-term goals? What lessons have we learned in this betrayal experience so that we can review the goal and the mission of the organization? How do we inculcate? How do we implant and put into every employee, every person that come our way, that this is what we believe in, this is what we stand, and reminding them on daily basis? Because sometimes you see, many people, you feel that you are too nice. You don't want to call people out. You don't want to remind people of some systems and structures that you have put in place because you feel that everybody is perfect. Keep deceiving yourself. I just pray when it happens, you don't feel hot. Remind people. How do I ensure that this pain produces growth and not fear? Because some betrayal might lead to fear. I was listening to a mentor recently. I've been following a lot of people, and this was a presentation that was being made. She was sharing a story how she's a governance professional, in Africa, that she handles corporate culture, organizational system, and governance for institutions and corporations and all the rest. And she said that she had planned at the 10th year of the organization that she had built 2 staffs within the organization that she's going to transition from the CEO to becoming, to move into the advisor and to the board level, and they take up the executive position. And on the 10th year, after the same people have grew, they've learned the process, they've learned the dynamics. These two, and they knew that they are taking over. And when she transitioned to the next level, the 2 people resigned almost the same time. Now they just did not resign. They went to create another company of the same business within the same environment. Look, I've seen betrayals. I've heard stories of betrayals almost on a daily basis. But for those of us in Nigeria, I think 2 weeks ago, in fact, when that incident of 2 weeks ago happened, because I have been thinking through on this topic, I felt, no, this is the time to work on this. I think there was this billionaire automobile person in Nigeria. You can check it online. And there had been this particular lady that has been the face of the company. And all of a sudden, I think they had an issue, and the company released a public disclaimer about her and the other person, and it was a major issue in Nigeria. If some of you have been following on that news, these are examples, and I'm just letting you know the impact of what betrayal does. Pain can become purpose when you refuse to waste the lessons. That's what we are trying to build here. Number 6, build team cohesion and trust. In period of betrayal, please, is a period that you build a team cohesion and trust. You must also ask, how do I continue to build the team unity? How do I restore collaboration? How do I strengthen trust among team members? How do I create accountability system that protects the team? A season of betrayal should also become a season of bringing your team together. Because let me tell you, as a leader, you're not the only one that is paying. If you carried every burden and you forget about the team, it's a risk. That's the period you bring the cohesion of the team. You ensure that the team stays together. It should be a time of clearer communication of your systems and policies. It should be a time of stronger unity and shared responsibility. And in conclusion, please, I want you to understand that betrayal will either break you or build you. Which one will you allow it to happen? Do you allow betrayal to break you, or will you allow it to build you? It all depends on what you do with it and how you react to it. Are you going to allow it to make you bitter, or will you allow it to make you better? Which one? Will you carry the wound of betrayal, or will you extract the wisdom? Ask yourself these fundamental questions. The reason many are stuck and can't move forward in life is due to betrayal challenge. And let me tell you one truth. Many times, the people that you have betrayed you, they have moved on, but you have remained stuck. Are you going to allow betrayal to limit your life, or you are going to allow the betrayal period to transform you to becoming a better person and becoming a better leader? Please remember this. Your leadership capacity is tested during a betrayal and a difficult times based on how you react and the decisions you take. How you respond to betrayal should be targeted towards increased trust and reputation by your customers, by your employers, by your stakeholders, by your family. A betrayal experience should make people to trust you and to believe in your leadership, including the general public. It is wise during this period not to quickly respond or react. Rather, speak to your mentor, speak to a coach, and those ahead of you for guidance. Thank you